So you started getting out doing comedy. What was your first break? What would you call your first break of knowing that you was really into this thing?
Oh man, it was that first show.
That first show?
Carlisle, because I had 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. I did pretty good, and it's funny because comedy. Like a lot of people have to go and like to the comedy club and this and that.
Sure.
But you know, in some days there is no comedy club.
Right. Sure.
You know what I mean? And I didn't even hear about the Comedy House Theater, which is in Columbia. I didn't hear about that.
Right.
So I decided I wanted to be a comedian, and then the opportunity came to me.
Okay.
Like the week after I said I was gonna do it, the opportunity came to me. There was this promoter named Ike. I don't know where this man is to this day. Mm-hmm. I swear I can't find this man to save my life. Mm-hmm. But he was promoting the show at Shaw Air Force Base at the NCO Club, and I was working part-time at this music store. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They don't, like, for the millennials watching there used to be stores. Where they would be like tapes, Google tapes, cassette tapes, and CDs and vinyl records. You had to Google this stuff. They asked you to sell that in the store. You had to physically go and buy the music that you wanted. Other than that, you had to hear it on the radio. Believe it or not, you did. I know it doesn't sound real, but it's actually. And I used to work at one of the locations. Okay, so ask your great grandmama. But so I was working at this music store. And this guy just walked in, and the flyer was on the yellow sheet of paper with black ink, right? I mean, it's like, this was, you got to think about it, it's like 15, 16 years ago.
Sure.
So, he literally was handing out flyers, you know what I mean, to the show. Say, hey man, just come to the show, da-da-da-da-da. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I start asking him a bunch of questions about comedy, and I was getting on his nerves. And he was like, you want to be a comedian or something? Like he was like, damn, why? Like what? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And before I could say no, because I wasn't, the girl that was working with me, she was one of the people that was saying, oh, you need to be a comedian. And she was like, yes. And I was like, yeah, well, I was thinking about it. Talking circles. He was like, look, here's my number. If you want to do it, I give you 3 minutes. I'll put you on the show, whatever. So now I'm like, oh, you gonna put me on the show? So I'm thinking this is it.
Right, you made it.
Right, yeah, right. You know what I mean? But I waited the next day, called him, and he was like, all right, cool, let me give you 3 minutes. All right, just be ready. And 3 minutes seemed like a long ass time.
Oh, yeah.
When, you know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you on that.
So, I mean, out of nowhere, I just started writing jokes, verbatim.
Right.
And
when did you do you do it full time now, or do you have?
Yeah. I mean, I still go home and work at the funeral home, but I'm
basically you're full time comic.
Yeah.
How long you been a full time comic?
I don't know. Probably
5 years.
Probably, yeah. Somewhere like 5 years.
Now you are one of the ones that I would say, got large on social media, on the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you feel about when people think, you internet comic? Because, it's got a bad little name, being an internet comic. People hear you internet comic, they think you ain't got no material. You ain't funny. Right. And trust believe, this boy funny in some material. He actually got material.
I think I'm still funny. You know what I mean? At this pandemic, I ain't been on stage in a minute.
Right.
Yeah, you nervous as hell when you're trying to do a show.
But you would. How do you respond to that? How do you feel about that?
I don't trip on it. Like they know me, and now like people, when I started touring, people were like, "Oh man, you really funny," and that.
You gotta act.
So it's like I think you just eventually people will get to find, because I keep saying it though.
Right.
I keep saying now I'm a comic, and because
right.
when I did have management before, they were like, "Well, just use the social media thing because this is working." I was like, no, I gotta let people know that I'm a, you know what I mean, if you're trying to get them to come to a show, because so many social media comics came before me, and no offense, but they disappointed people, and people were like, man, I spent $50 on this ticket, and this dude stood up here for 15 minutes and it wasn't funny. Right, so you know what I mean, he played 3 songs, he told one joke that wasn't funny, and now we leaving. You know what I mean? So who
was that?
Watch your mouth.
Right. That was right.
No.
But you hear so much of that, so I had to deliberately say, okay, comedian. You know what I mean? Or the guy had 15 years, and I had to literally say that over and over. I was like, put it on the flyer.
Now, if you like that clip, please hit the notification bell and hit the subscribe button and follow us. We really appreciate it.